And I know what he said last night is, I've earned my ticket. Here it is. I'll play you the soundbite, number 3. Yeah, I've earned my ticket out of Iowa. What, to where? Watch.
They threw everything but the kitchen sink at us. The media was against us. They were writing our obituary months ago. They even called the election before people even got a chance to vote. They were predicting that we wouldn't be able to get our ticket punched here out of Iowa. But I can tell you, because of your support, in spite of all of that they threw at us, everyone against us, we've got our ticket punched out of Iowa.
You explain it to me.
Ticket punch to where? To oblivion? You're absolutely right, Megyn. He has no chance in New Hampshire. That's obviously why he's going to South Carolina. He has no chance in South Carolina. I really don't understand why he'd even go to New Hampshire, because the fact of the matter is, in New Hampshire now, you have Haley at 29%, but you have Christie still at 11% in the RCP average, which puts her pretty close to Trump. If DeSantis were to drop out, he'd be handing New Hampshire to Trump. So I'm absolutely baffled. And I will say this, I watched that speech last night, and I could be wrong about this. Like, maybe this will come out eventually. I think Ron DeSantis gave his victory speech. It was absolutely bizarre. He's talking about George Washington and the Civil War and this lofty language. It's like, you lost by a lot. Like, the media said we were dead. You are. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this doesn't make any sense what you're saying. I do. I think they didn't write a concession speech, and he just went out and gave the victory speech anyway. Look, it's maybe they need some time. There's stages of grief. I think you mentioned there are people sort of slowly coming around to this, but DeSantis is finished.
Yeah. Here's the thing. John Cardillo, who's on X a lot, Stu, he's been a big DeSantis supporter, and he posted this post. The primary is basically over, and so is my criticism of Trump. I've said what I thought. I wanted the more conservative guy. Americans have spoken. Our guy lost. Dems will destroy us. So all of our fire must be directed at them. 110% must be directed at the left. And there, went on from there. But he's not the only one. I think, look, I'd be thrilled to see Ron DeSantis go all the way through. It didn't happen. He needed to win Iowa. That's the reality. And now we just have to hold on until he realizes it too. As for Nikki Haley, I don't see a much better path for her. She's probably going to come in a strong second in New Hampshire. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say she comes in first in New Hampshire. She comes in first in New Hampshire. He's then going to crush her in South Carolina and on Super Tuesday. And that when DeSantis drops out, the notion that the DeSantis supporters are then going to go to Haley is questionable at best.
Yes, highly questionable and probably not going to happen. There's a new poll out in New Hampshire that has a 40-40 tie between Trump and Nikki Haley. She really could win New Hampshire. It's largely because independent and Democrats are going to vote for her, and that's not really a sustainable way to win a Republican primary. However, the next state is South Carolina. She does have 25% of the vote there, and she is, you're right, still far behind Trump, but it's not theoretically impossible in her home state that if she wins New Hampshire, she gets a bump, she makes that close. I think if I'm in her campaign, I'm still trying to play this out and seeing what happens. It's not completely impossible. I don't think it's sustainable. And in a way, oddly, even with DeSantis finishing second, there's more of a path for DeSantis to win the nomination than there is Haley, just from the perspective of 70% of this population that's voting here are Donald Trump fans, and none of them are Nikki Haley fans. So there's almost no crossover there. The people that are voting for Ron DeSantis are generally Trump open. They're not the huge skeptics that are going to go to Nikki Haley. If Trump were to drop out or something, then you could see a path for Ron DeSantis, and that really is his path at this point. Look, this is a situation, and I've been looking at this as a two-tiered primary. You have the normal contest that we've all become familiar with over the years, where candidates vie to win. And there's a secondary contest going on that we have to acknowledge, which is they might just throw Trump in prison. who knows what the Supreme Court says? They might just take him off the ballots. And if all those things start happening and the world goes crazy, I don't want to see the chaos that ensues from that. But there has to be a second choice in an election like this because of the unique circumstances with Donald Trump and what they're trying to do with him. I do think that it's important for us to look at these people and decide, hey, who is that second choice? Because they have 91 indictments against Donald Trump. They're not going to go 0 for 91. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but they're going to go after him. And at some point, they may present a circumstance where you need to go to an alternate.
I mean, it's true. It's very true. I don't think the party's going to voluntarily eject Trump after he's gotten the nomination. But if he's sitting in a prison cell this summer when they have their nominating convention, the party's going to be faced with a serious choice. And I don't know that they're going to nominate someone who's actually in jail, which is a slim possibility, but it is a possibility. So you're right. It's like, well, what's the backup? Who's the backup? Who's the first tier backup? And perhaps that's a reason to keep this going. I don't know. Here's Nikki Haley messaging last night on that it's a two-person race. I'll play it for you, Sat 4.
When you look at how we're doing in New Hampshire, in South Carolina, and beyond, I can safely say tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
Okay, well, we'll see. True or false? Using your tax refund to pay off credit card debt is smart. False. Well, donewithdebt.com published a strategy designed to let you keep your hard-earned tax refund and reduce or eliminate credit card debt. Most Americans owe thousands in credit card debt that will take years to pay off, if at all. Done with Debt found that filing bankruptcy is usually not the answer, and taking out loans to pay off credit cards usually increases debt. When you engage Done with Debt, their legal experts and skilled negotiators will take on the credit card companies for you. Their winning strategies are designed with one goal: solve your debt situation quickly and permanently. First things first, chat with a Done with Debt strategist and explore your possible solutions. That will make you feel better. Some debt fighting strategies, though, are time sensitive, so you do need to move quickly. Call right away. Check it out now. For a free consultation, visit Done, D-O-N-E, with debt, D-E-B-T.com. Donewithdebt.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.